Good afternoon. Hello. Welcome. Nice to have you here with me. Hello to Bo. Hello to Debbie. Nice to have you here. If you're here with me live, do say hello. It's nice to know who I am sharing my time with. If you're watching it on catch up, just pop in a hashtag replay so I know that you have seen it and I can say hello back. Hi, Caro. Nice to have you here with us too. So today we are going to be talking all about how we overstyle our food, and it's a really good time for this to happen because yesterday in the Food Photography Academy we had our monthly critiques, and one of the big themes that came up in the critique this month was the understyling or overstyling. Sometimes people are overstyling their food and their set with military precision, so you don't actually want to go in and take a bite of everything because it all looks so perfect. Other people are going the opposite way and they're leaving slops and messy bits in there, and it spoils the image. So we've got to find a happy medium. We've got to find that Goldilocks moment of it not being too hot, too cold, just right. We've got to do the same with our food. Hi, Liz. And a great way to look at doing this is with sushi, because this is one of those foods that I find people go for formulaic, and they've got their rulers out and they are measuring their sushi. So today I am going to invite you to get your sushi and just shake it out a little bit and make it a little bit messier, but we're looking for an organized, non-overstyled mess. So what I'm going to just photograph for you to start with is I'm going to show you what I see a lot of. I have not put a lot of time into this. It is not military precision. But sushi can quite easily get very, very formulaic because we line it up in a military row. We make sure that all the sesame seeds are all where they should be, maybe with a tweezer, putting some of them in. We then use the chopsticks to perfectly edge the frame, like we've put an actual frame around the food. And there's no drips, there's no difference. All the sushi is exactly the same height. And if some of them aren't the same size, it can really, really bother you. If you're using a napkin, it's normally folded and the fold is very severe. And again, you've got a line like a ruler, might even have been ironed. Everything is just parked around the sushi and everything is sitting in these perfect lines. So let's have a look at what that looks like. Just give me a moment and I will share the screen. I haven't shared the screen. Give me a moment. Okay, let's share that screen. And let's move me out the way. Okay, so let's have a look at what that can look like for us when we are shooting. Is that bright enough? Sorry, just going to up my exposure. A little bit better there. Okay, right. So let me just come back round here to where you guys are and let's just have a look at that sushi. So if I was going to do this properly, it's going to take you ages. We've photographed here on the acrylic. So we've got that beautiful shine that again makes it look luxurious and makes us look at what we are actually taking. We are losing a little bit of the detail there, so I'm just going to crank it up a bit more. Might overexpose it, but who knows, a little bit. So we're starting to see it. We've got that beautiful shape now. Now this is what I'm talking about when we look at our sushi, and it's just looking off. We've got random sesame seeds here. So you can see these sesame seeds that are stuck to the rice and to the salmon. We've got a black seed up here that is stuck in the wrong place. These are all not the same size. We've got another sesame seed up here. These are not the same size. The cucumbers are not the same way. And then when we come down and look at these, they're all different. So now, if this was me getting an over stylized shot, I am gonna have to spend the next half an hour moving this around. When I move these round on an acrylic, they're gonna get greasy. We're gonna have to start again. And it can be a huge frustration when you're trying to do something this formulaic. Are your chopsticks straight? Are they both straight? So as you can see, I have plonked these down on acrylic in a military fashion, but I am not going to spend the next half an hour looking at straightening this up, because that is what it's definitely not about. It's not what we want to do. So let me just stop sharing the screen for a moment. And I'm going to come back up and we're going to start to build a set that is more what we need for the sushi. So we now need to go back and look at this and think about how do we want this to look. And I would like this to be a little bit more Asian, a little bit more bamboo-y. I don't want to have a very posh formulaic acrylic. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the acrylic. I've already set up, because in my head, as you know, if you've worked with me before, I will always have an idea of what it is that I want in my head and what the layout is going to look at before I even pick my camera up. So I've built the set with the colours that I want in there. And then I'm just going to put in a little bamboo mat. It's just bamboo on the back. It's just got a pattern. And we're going to put this in here. Okay. I'm just going to move that round a bit because I'm not sure if you can go the opposite way. Everything's the opposite way. Okay. So I'm just going to put that now in the middle. And what I want to do is I want to put the sushi onto wood. So I should have a chopping board here somewhere. Bear with me. I over-tidied, which is something that I can't say very often. So I'm going to put my sushi in here. And again, already I'm not going formulaic. I'm not getting these to match up here. That takes me more time. And I'm trying to rebel a little bit here from doing what a formulaic sushi shot should be. So I'm going this way, and I'm now going to build up my sushi on this part here. So go to the back. I'm not being overly cautious of what I'm doing here. I like that one the best. Okay, and then I'm going to arrange the little ones around it. Adding a little bit of height, just to try and rebel. Rebel, rebel, rebel. In fact, that's going to go behind the back. I'm going to move those forward. Don't want any straight lines in this setup. Say no to straight lines. Okay, So everything now is being put on at different angles so that I'm not going to have that problem with all of those straight lines coming through. I'm then going to add a little bit of context. I want to put in my chopsticks, but I don't want to be putting them here or here. I don't want to be framing it. So I've got myself a little bowl and I'm going to put a little bit of soy sauce in there. My son is going to be so happy after school when I say, go and look in the fridge. He's got all this sushi in the fridge. He's going to be like, Mum, I love your chop. Right, let's put that there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use our chopsticks as a leading line and point it in towards the sushi. Look here, this is where we want your eyes to look. Okay, so I'm just putting those there for now. We'll see what that looks like. We might need to put them all the way across. Who knows? Only the camera can tell us that. Then I've got some edamames and I'm going to just frame the back of the picture with some edamame. Again, the edamame are purposely are styled to be unstyled. I've pulled some over the side. I've made it so they look messy and piled up there. So that's going in there just to give a nod to there. I'm going to put them on a little board as well to give myself some more texture. And then I'm just going to have another little bowl where we've got the empties for the edamame. So nice. And they can go in there. Chopsticks aren't behaving. So we're then going to go onto our napkin. We're purposely not going to fold a napkin and keep it styled. We're going to use something a little bit more relaxed and we're going to zhuzh it. We're going to zhuzh it up so it's got a little bit less in there. Zhuzhing is an art form. Okay. Is now keeping the chopsticks in place. I'm going to leave them at different angles just in case. And then just in the other corner, if it shows on the camera, I'm not quite sure yet. We will find out in a minute. I've just got this crocheted kind of scarf. And I'm just going to soften the other side with the crocheted scarf. So just put in a little bit in down that side. Will it look good? Who knows? Does it matter? Not really. Okay, let's now go to taking a picture and see what we think to the picture. So, just going to need to get my camera into place. Just give me a moment. Oh, I got a little bit of a bowl there for sake as well. So let's see what that's looking like. Okay, let's zoom out and see what we think. Sorry, I've got the tether stuff on there. Come around the other side. Can't actually see the screen. I'm just going to move it for a moment. Okay, so now we've got our sushi looking messier, which is brilliant. This is what we want. We want to go a bit further this way because we've got the edges of the bowl around here. I don't mind the chopsticks being separate. I've got a little bit of the texture. I'm not seeing much of that bowl. I'm not particularly fussed. So I'm just going to move it so it goes a little bit further round. I'm actually even wondering. I'm zhuzhing, I'm not straightening. What we got? Okay. So I'm just going to bring in the napkin a little bit more, just so I can see a bit more of that. I'm happy with the sushi, just the bowl being in the background. I've got a little bit of a gap there, so I just need to fill that. And again, still make it look messy. Oops, camera's changed, just bear with me. Okay. And one last thing I want to do is I just want to open up one of the sushis. Which one is not going to be a problem to take? This one. So I'm just going to open this up now, and I'm going to add some pieces of rice just into the image, just to give it a little bit of mess, but organized mess. So just taking a little bit of that rice and putting it around the side. Let me stop sharing for a minute so you can see what I'm doing. So just putting a little bit of rice around here, and then I'm going to take some of the edamame peas, only because I like eating them. And again, just put some peas in the background to add to our not over stylizing what we're doing. It's always great to fill some space with extra added bits in the image. So let's just share the screen again and see if we've got it looking messy but not messy. Sorry, I'm working in a very tight space. I don't know why I've built it so tight. Okay, so we've got a nod to everything now. So if we go back to that very formulaic sushi that we started with, and how many problems it shows up, and where there's a sesame seed, and how straight the chopsticks have to be, and how the sushi all has to be in a really set military line. We've took all of that out of what we're doing. We've shook it out, and we've just made it flow naturally with what we want to do, just by changing things around with how we view that image, and just by opening up a few little bits that are messy, but they're organized, controlled mess. I hope that makes sense. So if we go back and we look at the set, everything is zhuzhed. There's nothing on the set here that is formulaic. The only thing we've got as a straight line is the bamboo mat that I used at the beginning. But I purposely made sure that everything else then was a little bit messy, a little bit off center, a little bit all over the place, but a stylized, unstyled way of doing it. And this is one of those things that you will struggle with if you are trying to make things too perfect. Too perfect is not actually that great, because it just shows up every single thing that is wrong with your image. So there we go. This is what we talked about, as I say, in our Food Photography Academy critiques yesterday. This came up as a common theme of people that had left slops in that looked sloppy. and people that had made those too styled. And it's really finding that Goldilocks moment that's going to work for you, of how that's going to sit. So, any questions from anyone? Hello, Walcos. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, but hello, Walcos. The joys of YouTube when you don't know who people are. But I would just wait for a minute if you've got any questions, and just to say to you, if you are in my 5-day challenge, I will be live again at 1 o'clock in 40 minutes. I am doing the 10 things that us humans do to sabotage our own businesses. And I'm just going to be talking through some pointers that will help you with your business, or things that you might recognize in yourself. On top of that, if you are not in it, please do check out my socials. The links to join are there. It is all part of my 5-day challenge that I'm running next week. And I would love to have you in there if you are not there from there. So please do click on the link if you want to be, if you want to be there. Oh, hello, Sarah. Sorry, I didn't realise everyone chooses random names on YouTube, and it makes it very difficult for me. Like faux, gibble, floop faux. I think the beans on the mat make all the difference. Yeah, just having a little bit of colour, mess, shaking it out. Shaking it out is what we are trying to do here in terms of stopping that formulaic, putting everything so it looks overstyled, overplaced. It can be damaging your food photography of taking it further if you're not able to kind of shake it out and get that creative, artistic side of things. So that is it for today. I will be back next Thursday at 12 o'clock again. And every Thursday with just a little thing for you to concentrate on to help you with your food photography. You much prefer the messier set, phew, because I really didn't want to sit for another half an hour with my ruler getting the sushi right on the acrylic. Gibble Flute came out of a day of frustration not being able to use any of my chosen names. Well, there we are. You can forever be known as Gibble Flute now. Brilliant. Thanks very much, everyone, for spending your time with me. I may see you on the next live or next week. All right. Take care. Thanks. Bye.